Most people know ancient Egypt for pyramids, pharaohs, and mummies, but hidden behind the familiar history is something far more mysterious. A world of secret healing rituals, forbidden knowledge, and practices so advanced that modern medicine still can't fully explain them. Today, we're going to explore the forgotten side of ancient Egypt, the part schools never teach, the part carved into temple walls that most historians skip. This is the story of the forbidden healing rituals of ancient Egypt. In ancient Egypt, healing wasn't left to common physicians. It was controlled by an elite group known as the priests of the House of Life. These were not doctors in the modern sense. They were spiritual scientists, part priests, part physicians, part magicians. Their work blended medicine, ritual, astronomy, and what we would now call energy healing. Only the highest-ranking members of society had access to them. Much of their knowledge was restricted to secret writings stored deep inside temple libraries that have mostly disappeared. The priests believed illness had two sources, the physical body and the unseen world. If the body suffered, they treated it with herbs, surgery, and remedies. If the spirit suffered, they used ritual, and sometimes they used both. One of the strangest truths about Egyptian healing is their use of sound. Not music, but vibration. Temple carvings show priests holding what look like tuning forks or strange metal instruments. They used them to produce deep, resonant tones believed to realign the body's energy field. Modern researchers have discovered that some Egyptian chambers, including the sarcophagus inside the Great Pyramid, amplify specific frequencies. Standing inside them produces unusual sensations in the body. Some describe it as a full-body vibration. Others say it feels like the air around you is charged. The priests believed certain tones could heal organs, calm the mind, or open spiritual channels. This was healing through resonance. They even believed the human voice itself was a tool. Spoken chants, repetitive phrases, and deliberate breath patterns were designed to create an internal vibration that could restore balance. For them, sound was medicine. Another forbidden ritual involved water collected from what they called sacred points. These locations were often near temples aligned with specific stars. The water was exposed to sunlight or moonlight during certain times of the year, usually tied to celestial events. The priests believed the water absorbed cosmic energy. In their worldview, it became living water. They used it in three ways. They drank it during purification rituals. They used it to wash wounds or cleanse the skin before healing ceremonies. And they used it during initiation rites, believing it prepared the body to hold spiritual knowledge. What makes this strange is that some modern studies show water can hold structural changes under certain electromagnetic conditions. It's not proof, but it makes you wonder how much they understood about energy and environment. Egyptians also believed dreams were a gateway between the physical and the divine. Dream healing was so important that full temples were dedicated to it. The most famous were the sleep temples of Imhotep. People seeking healing would sleep inside a chamber where priests created a specific sensory environment. The room was dark, perfumed with sacred oils, and filled with rhythmic chanting that echoed through the stone walls. The goal was to induce a visionary dream, a dream where the person would receive guidance, diagnosis, or even a direct form of healing. Sometimes priests interpreted the dream afterwards. Other times, they performed rituals while the person slept. This was healing through altered consciousness, through the power of the mind, and through something modern science still struggles to explain. Egyptian physicians used remedies like herbs, honey, resins, and oils. But alongside these treatments were spoken incantations. To them, words were forces of nature. A correctly spoken phrase could protect, cleanse, or accelerate recovery. Some spells were for physical issues. Others were for emotional pain. Some were so secret that only high priests were allowed to speak them. When combined with medicine, they formed a dual treatment, a ritual for the spirit and a remedy for the body, a healing approach 2,000 years ahead of its time. One of the most sacred healing plants in Egypt was the blue lotus. It wasn't just a flower. It was considered a symbol of rebirth, clarity, and enlightenment. When used in rituals, blue lotus was believed to elevate consciousness. It produced a sense of calm, euphoria, and expanded awareness. Priests used it during ceremonies to heighten intuition or reach deeper states of meditation. Today, we know the blue lotus contains compounds that affect the nervous system. It can relax the body, sharpen the mind, and create a mild dreamlike state. For the Egyptians, this was a doorway to the divine. One of the most secret healing ceremonies was the ritual of rebirth. This was performed to help someone overcome trauma, illness, or emotional suffering. The person would lie inside a stone chamber. Priests would chant. Sacred oils were applied to the forehead, chest, and hands. The chamber acted like an amplifier, surrounding the person with sound and vibration. The goal was to break old patterns, release spiritual blockages, and renew the life force within them. Some historians believe this ritual was the origin of later mystery schools in Greece. Others think it was passed down through early esoteric traditions. Either way, the ceremony was powerful enough to be restricted. Only a few were ever allowed to experience it. So what happened to this knowledge? Much of it was lost when the temples fell. Some was erased by invading cultures. Some disappeared in fires that destroyed ancient libraries. And some was hidden away, protected by priests who feared it would fall into the wrong hands. What remains are fragments, symbols, carvings, secret texts, and stories that suggest the Egyptians understood healing in ways far deeper than we realize. They combined mind, body, spirit, astronomy, vibration, and environment, not as separate ideas, but as one connected system. Perhaps the real question is this: did ancient Egypt discover a form of healing far more advanced than we were ever taught? And if so, what else is still hidden beneath the sands?